Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here with another episode of Mini Mondays. Yes, it's Mini Mondays. Today we have just a darling little pattern called Rosebuds that I made. Now, these are 3-inch finish that are on the paper. However, if you print it at 200, you can get your Rosebuds to be 6-inch finish. So that's kind of a way of giving you 2 patterns in one. Now, all 4 of these Rosebuds are the same, but it's a really fast, quick method that I do to help me along with my foundation paper piecing. And foundation paper piecing is wonderful because you can do all sorts of strange little angles with it and still end up with absolutely perfect results. But before we get into the sewing, you're going to find the PDF in the show notes below or the description box, right? And we have our shout out. It's Moonkin Stitchery. Now, her YouTube channel is going to be in the show notes below, as well as all the other things I'm going to be talking to you about right now. And you know, it's just give her some love and some encouragement, and tell her that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. Also, now, in the show notes, you're going to see a lot of other little bits and bobs of information, and it's very important you get into those show notes or that description box. I speak for free to guilds and quilting groups, and I am so inspired by these people I'm talking to. It's wonderful. It's just such a great way to give back to the quilting community. I talk about elements of design, I talk about working with scraps, and I talk about making charity quilts. So if your guild or group is looking for somebody to talk to them about any of those topics, please put my name forward. I'd be happy to present to them and, you know, chat with them. I also come bearing gifts, so that's also a really nice thing for a guild to get. Also, we have a Facebook group, and the Facebook group is warm and welcoming, and we have all sorts of, you know, fun community chats going on. We have a virtual sewing room set up in Discord, so you're going to have to download the Discord app, and you ask the admins for an invite, and they send you an invite, and you're off at the races with a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week sewing date if you want. The people that are gathering in those sewing rooms, they're having such a good time in there, and you never know who you're going to meet. And it could be somewhere, anywhere around the world because of all the time zone things. We also do Zoom sew dates once a month, and it's usually the first Saturday of the month. The dates are listed below in the show notes, so you can mark them on your calendar and bring, you know, whatever project you're working on. Don't bring something that I put out, bring something that you're inspired by. Also, if you don't feel like sewing that day and you want to bring your knitting, it's fine. It's a great place to come hang out, and we all do show and tell, and it's a great way to chat. I try and bring easy things so I can chat with everybody, and it's always been a lot of fun. Also, share, like, and subscribe our channel with your friends and your quilting buddies. That way we get to keep giving you free pattern and fun content. Also, commenting helps our analytics and push our video forward. So if all you've got time to do is put a heart down, that would be perfect. That would help us out so much, and we're so thankful for that. So I think that's it. I think that's all I've covered. So come on in. Let's get to the sewing. Okay, we're at the sewing machine, and what you're going to need is, of course, is your pattern. Now, I've already scored this with my tracing wheel, so I can see my pattern from below. It's got little marks on it from the tracing wheel, and I just go along the lines, and you can feel it and you can see it really well. So that's going to help speed up folding your fabric, or folding the paper, and being able to cut and trim. Now, if you don't have an add and a quarter ruler, you can just use a regular ruler. It has a 1/4 inch mark on it. It's good. Tape is your friend, is actually your best friend with foundation paper piecing, because it's one of those tools that you hope to not use, but if it's there, you're going, oh, I'm so grateful. Because sometimes you go over pieces a couple of times. If you make a mistake, it's always good to put a piece of tape over the line you just sewed, so you don't have to, you know, re-sew it. So basically, foundation paper piecing is follow the number. Now, I picked some fabrics here. Now, when I do foundation paper piecing with my crumbs, because these are all crumb bin, you know, what we're going to do now is we're just going to put, you know, these things together and hope that we get something good. So 1 and 2 is right here. So I've got a cute little piece for number 1 that is going to work just beautifully. It's a little bit oversized, but that's okay. And let's see. I'm going to make it right there. Yeah, it's a little oversized, but that's all right. And I'm going to put my pink down right here. And now we're just going to pick it up and we're going to sew it. And oops, a little bit more maneuvering. I need my light. There we go. And we start about 1/4 inch. Now I hold and I put a little knot. Now on these modern machines, they can, you know, you have that option of putting a little knot in. You just by pressing a button. Then I hold it again so it doesn't move, and it creates yet another little knot. Now I'm going to do some leader enders here, just out of my wild low volume. Some of this stuff is too small for anything, so I figured, okay, I might as well sew it together and make it bigger. So we're just cutting this off. Okay, now when I do a project like this, I do several of them at a time, right? I just don't do, you know, the one, right? Okay, so now we're going to go between 1 and 3, because that's the other side. And we're going to grab our ruler. Okay, and we're cutting this off. Now this is going, because crumbs are on their last legs, they usually all end up in the pet bed. But, okay, so I need a really long, skinny, narrow piece, but I have this piece instead, so that works fine for me. And I'm just going to lay this down. Wait, did that piece get big enough? Yes, it is big enough, just big enough. So I'm going to lay it down just like that. And yes, there's too much, but this, when I trim it off, it's big enough to go back. Let's put it that way. Let's see, is it over? Yes. So we just want to make sure it's over. If I make a mistake, I'll show you. I'll stop and I'll show you how I fix it. That might be easier. 1 and 3, 3 and 4. Now, there we go. And 1/4 inch, a couple of taps with your machine by holding your paper in place. On my machine, that's how it works. Okay, and another leader ender. We have a lot of fun with these. Oh my goodness, we have so much fun with these. There we go. Here. Yeah. Okay, so now you press this finger. I just finger press. You like you could use an iron in between these, and that would be perfect, right? Because then you'd get them absolutely perfectly flat. But my fingernails, no, this goes back. This goes in the pet bed. Okay. Now, we're going to line up this, and we want a larger piece. And I'm just going to make this just a bit longer. Because, like I say, I use up my odd bits and bobs and my crumbs. Because it's just easier for me to use them up. Use them up that way. Move them out. It's better. It's better when I do crumb piecing, I don't have all these odd pieces. I just find it messes me up when I'm doing crumb piecing that way. Which is kind of strange, right? But, I mean, some people love the odd shapes. I don't. But that's me. Maybe I'm OCD. I just thought of that. That might have something to do with me being OCD. That would be funny. Okay. And grab another leader ender. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with these leader enders yet, but there we go. And we just trim off all these long threads. There. Okay, now this is big enough to go right across. So now, because we're changing colors, we're going to trim on both sides, like A4 to A7 and A8 to A4. We're going to trim both of those so that I can just start moving in those pieces. Okay, that's pet bed. Okay, this is pet bed. What's coming off is pet bed. It's too small. And the cat's complaining about the service again. Does anybody else have a cat that complains? All the time he's complaining about this or that. So now I'm going to put my smaller piece here. And yes, it's a crumb, so it's going to be happy once it's gone. I fit my greens so hard with crumb carnage. And then I noticed, oh, it's starting to grow again. So I figured, okay, we'll do some more. And it was just like, wow. And now I've got a bunch of stuff coming up that is going to use green. And I'm going, well, that wasn't smart. But I have other greens I can put. So I'm sure there is no shortage of greens in this house. And another leader ender. Oh, there we go. There. I like stuff like this. I like doing stuff like this too, right? Because I can use this with spring quilts too when I sew all these sizes together. Okay, so there we go. There's one leaf side done. And now the other leaf side gets done. Okay, and I'm just going to trim off a bit of that because it's ridiculous. It's too long. And that goes in the pet bed. There we go. And from there we go right across, almost. There we go. Yeah, it's nice when you're doing one at a time that you can pull a leader ender out, and then it just helps it go along a lot quicker. You know, you're not wasting all this thread in between. I mean, you're wasting some thread, but not the amount that you would if you didn't have a leader ender, right? Okay, so this, I have good coverage there. So now we're going to work on the low volume. Now, the low volume, I actually have to look at this. You go A5, that's the next color, and you're cutting off lots of little bits. Right, and you just pull on this. Don't get too rough with it, but you pull on it just to flatten it out. And while it's on the board, I might as well get the other side, A6 done. Okay, there. And that's not as much stuff to trim off. Oh, okay, there we go. But it works. Okay, now we're cooking. Okay, so let's do A5. Now again, I've got all my weird stuff out of my low volume. Now, this would be not enough contrast. This is not going to end up being enough contrast. But if I flip it over to use the other side, I've got good contrast because this makes it paler now. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to sew this upside down. Because you buy both sides of the fabric, you should be able to use both sides of the fabric. So I'm just going to put it like so. And I'm going from the tip all the way past that line by a 1/4 inch, and I hold it. There we go. And oops. And another leader ender. I say that a lot, don't I? These mini Mondays, oh my gosh. I will have to stop at some point, and then we can do mini Mondays again, because I have hundreds, I mean literally hundreds of ideas to play with here. And I'm like, oh gosh. Oh, now. Yep, all right. So there we go. There's one of A5. Okay, now let's do A6. Now we can do this, probably with the same fabric. Oh, well, you know what? Let's pick different fabric. Let's pick different fabric. Oh no, we'll pick this fabric. That's all fine. We'll do this little rose motif, really cute, and we'll do it all around. That'll be fun. And now you start at the point, and oops, it's just flipped a little bit, but that's okay. Okay. There we go, and a 1/4 inch pass. Yeah. And another leader ender bites the dust. There we go. Okay. Well now, okay, we got 5 and 6 done. Oh, and I sewed it on wrong. But it's light enough. It should be light enough. No, we're going to fix it. So now you get to see how to fix these. I'm the only person I know that wants to do these so I can fix one. Now, you pick from the wrong side, from the fabric side, not the paper side. If you pick from the paper side, what's going to happen is you're going to create tears in your paper, and you don't, that's the last thing you want to have happen right now. You just pull a little bit. Sometimes it'll release more than a couple of stitches. And like I say, there we go. It's coming along. Can you guys see this well enough? I'm just picking a stitch. I'm probably getting like every third, fifth stitch, something like that, where I have to pick, you know, with my stitch ripper. But you just want to make sure you don't go too hard and you don't rip too hard, because like I say, you will distort your block. Okay, here we go. I knew I'd do something today like that, but that's good, you know, because if you're a beginner and you don't know how to fix something, right? How do you know to fix something unless somebody shows you how to do it, right? Or explains it to you. Now, if you were a beginner and you didn't know how to do this, this would end up in an orphan block because, you know, like you can't fix it because you don't know how. So what I do now is I pick all the thread out, right? I make sure all the thread is out. That goes into the pet bed as well. And I sew it on this way so that when I flip it, it's going to be lining up correctly. Now, before I sew, here's my tape. And I stitch. Okay, so I got this all there. Okay, and that's... Oh, I just taped the wrong side. And there's going to be more tape than needed there, but that's okay. Okay. You guys all laughed. You probably saw that and went, ha! Okay. So, let's get this. Make sure this doesn't flip on me, because that would be bad. Okay, so let's go again. Let's try this again. We're working on A6. And then we just drop it down the same spot. Perfect. Okay. Here we go. Now, okay, we get this out. There. Lots of times I find foundation paper piecing very relaxing. And I will, if I'm stressed out, I'll do lots of it. You know, just because it is such a, you don't think pretty much. You just kind of put fabric down and it works, right? So now okay, we're looking for A5. What we got? Okay, 7, 8. Oh, I guess we're doing 9. A9 now is next. Oh, I put the greens on first. I shouldn't have. Oh well. But it didn't matter, so it's okay. So now I'm just going to, okay, maneuver this over. Yeah, okay. And I'm going to do the other side as well. So I did this a little out of order. Oh my gosh, and it still worked. Well, that's okay. It still worked. It's all good. No harm, no foul. Okay, now. Okay, so here I'm going to put this down. And let's see if this would work. Wait a minute. This is going to work better. Okay. So I'm going to put this down just like so, right? Okay, and I'm going to flip it over. Okay. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. Something's catching. Why is it catching? Oh, there it is. Line this up again. Take your time lining it up. When something starts to catch, you're better off to stop what you're doing. And I just caught it. I'm not sure what was starting to catch, but I don't care. I'm just going to keep on rolling forward. Okay. Oops. Here we go. There. Now, and that goes like that. And that's a huge piece, but that's okay. I've got lots of this fabric kicking around here somewhere. And what I want to do now is I want this to come in here like so. And I make sure I've got enough coverage. Yes, I do. And we're going to go right across and off the edge. Okay. And I think with that we're done. But let's just get, okay, let's get this leader ender on and we'll get it off the thing to see what we're doing. They never look like anything either until they're all cut. They, you know, like they're all trimmed up and they look nice, and you know, and that's one of the things too. Why this, you know, this doesn't look like anything, right? You can kind of see it, but not quite yet. And I'm a little shy right here, so I am going to put a piece in. Let's see, how do I do this? I'm going to put, yeah, it's a little shy. Well, it's in the seam allowance, so yeah, it's in the seam allowance. It'll be good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do my stay stitching. Stay stitching is so important for your, especially minis, because you can't have them stretching, because if they stretch, you're done. You have to have them stay stitched because you have biases all around the edges now. You don't have any kind of straight grains, and this is why stay stitching is so important. There we go. Okay. There. And another leader ender. Yay. There we go. Now, okay, so from here, okay, this is what it looks like, right, from the other side, right? Now we're going to trim this up. Now, all right, I'm just going to use my add a quarter ruler for trimming. I'm going to line it up just on the outer edge of that seam allowance. And I'm tired of that fabric. It's going to go in the pet bed. An executive decision. I am tired of that fabric. I ended up with so many little bits and bobs. It was gorgeous fabric, beautiful fabric, but I'm tired of using it now. You know, it's had its day in my stash over, and I still have a couple pieces left, but that's okay. That's okay. There. Now, I'm going to show you that piece where I'm a little shy. It's all in the seam allowance and it's right at the edge, so I didn't have to add anything. But that's our block, and that's how fast it goes together. So let's get to our ta-da moment. Okay, here we go with our darling little Rosebud block. And like I say, it finishes at 3 inches, so it's 3.5 inches square. Really cute. You print it at 200, it'll finish at 6 inches square. So that's just very quick, very fast. It's a great way to use up your crumbs and your scraps. Now I pulled everything out of my crumb bin for this block, and I have a few more else that I want to continue doing, so I'll keep working on them. But I find it's my favorite way to use up crumbs. So anyways, I do hope you give these a try. I think next week we'll have a little surprise that kind of goes with this, but yeah, this is kind of a lot of fun to do. Anyways, I hope everything is going well for you and life is treating you grand, and you know, things are going well in your sewing room. So you take care until we meet again. Okay, bye! Hello again. We just want to thank you for enjoying our video and, you know, coming along with my husband and my YouTube adventure and quilting. And, you know, sometimes things don't work out as best they should, and sometimes they work out great. We're going, wow, that went well. But it's been an amazing journey, and I'm so glad I could share it with you. Share, like, and subscribe these videos. That really helps us out, and it helps us make more charity quilts, okay? So you guys take care until we have a chance to meet again, okay? Bye!